Hello everyone, and welcome this time to a competition server race on Assetto Corsa Competizione for the Xbox One, not the Xbox Series X yet. This is actually my second race attempt of the day. I attempted one at Spa early and it didn't quite end so well. So of course we don't want to repeat of that this time, so we're going to be at the Nürburgring. Because I'm clever, I didn't record the qualifying lap, so we've got P2. If I remember off the top of my head, we did a low 158, I think, and then the guy in first place broke into the 57s, so he's a little bit quicker than me. After third place, there is a bit of a gap in the qualifying pace. We're going to come round now to end the formation lap, and we'll just see what we can do, I guess. The guy in first place is going to be difficult to beat, but as long as I can stick with him, hopefully my consistency can prevail and we can take first place. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Around the last corner now to start the race. Let's see what we can do. See if we can get a fast start off the line. And we're underway in Germany, so we're going to try and get a really good run down to the first corner. In fact, we do actually get in front of the German in the Porsche. We move into first place temporarily as we come into the braking zone. We've been outbraked by the guy in first. We're getting swamped by cars from behind. We managed to not make any contact. Temporarily drop down to third position, but we're going to have the inside now for this left-hander, so we'll move back up into second, so we've not lost any places through the first corner. A little bit slow in the middle of the stadium section there, and we'll go very wide into this left-hander, but it does mean we'll have the inside for the next right-hand turn, so we'll have the advantage over the car in third. Bit slippy over the curbs there, but we'll get as good an exit as we can now as we exit the stadium section. I'm quite wide into this right hand. I'm just going to try and carry the speed and get on the throttle as early as I can, not really taking into account the fact that the tyres are cold and not up to temperature, so it's my fault there. In fact, we do it almost the same here, but we managed to recover it slightly. A bit deeper than I would have liked into that corner. But halfway through the first lap, sticking in P2, so we've not lost any positions, not gained any positions. We're a bit sloppy there through the Schumacher S's, but again, not losing too much time. So we're just going to try now, put in some consistent pace. It's a long race, 45 minutes. So as long as we can stick to this guy in first and hopefully capitalise on any mistakes he might make, then we're in with a chance of something good here. So we're coming up now to end the first lap. The guy in first gets a little bit sideways there, coming out of the endurance chicane, so that's just gained us a nice amount of time on him. Pulled us right back into the danger zone, so we come now down the start-finish straight to end lap number 1 to start the full race lap now. Going to give a little wiggle to the inside there, let him know that we're there. He's going to go defensive, we're going to look to go around the outside. Very optimistic move. The guy in third having a little look, but not quite enough speed. So we're right behind first place again as we go into the stadium section. There's a bit of a nicer line through there than me, but that doesn't matter. We're staying nice and tight behind him as we come through this left-hander. Not going wide like we did on the first lap, not leaving a single gap for the car behind us, which is good. I'm trying to get the best exit we can out of there, out of the stadium section. But again, not lost any positions yet, as long as we're staying with this group in first. Oh, very wide there actually from the leader. Doesn't quite go off, then third place looked like you were going to have a nibble, and that really caught me out by surprise. A quick shift over to the left. Bit of excitement. We've had no crashes so far, no contact, nothing to really worry our race as of yet. coming to the end now of our first full racing lap to end lap number 1. Still retaining P2, P3 and 4 are still sticking with us for now. So hopefully me and the guy in first place can work together a little bit and hopefully try and pull some time on the cars behind us. Set the fastest lap of the race there, but it is only the end of the first full racing lap, so that's about to change. We nearly rear-end the guy in first place there as we go into the hairpin of turn number 1. Must have been late on the brakes or something there. We managed to avoid contact with him, which is a relief. Would have ruined both of our races, and we're only 5 minutes in. So, well, hopefully we have no more mistakes like that. As we exit the stadium section, we're just going to try our best to stay with first place. So we're skipping ahead now slightly to the end of the second full racing lap as we throw it through the chicane. First place runs quite wide there, I also run wide, so we're going to try and capitalise on the exit now. Nice tight line compared to him on the power really early. Got a really good run off the last corner, we're right behind the Porsche now, we dip to his outside. It's going to be side by side as we go into T1. He is going to have the inside line, which is going to make it really difficult. We're going to brake as late as we can. He's managed to brake a little bit later than me. We're going to go for the cutback, but not quite. He's not gone deep enough into the corner. Stay as tight as we can to him through this left-hander, but there's just no space now in this stadium section. He goes defensive into this left-hander too. He's just expertly parked the car there to stop me gaining any ground on him whatsoever. Third place in the Aston is still sniffing away for any opportunity to get past me, but I'm not going to compromise my own position trying to take first place. That would be a very stupid thing to do. So now as we come through the left and right hander now down towards the open hairpin, staying quite close again to the car in first place. There's going to be a theme of this race. If you haven't noticed already, just stuck behind the guy in first. He runs quite wide through there, he cuts back, not affecting me, so can we get a good run up in as we go into the Schumacher S's? Takes the curb, I have to lift, I'm a bit deep going through that second left, and that's going to let him get away from us a little bit again. So we're going to skip ahead quite a bit now, so we're part way through racing lap number 8, still in the exact same position. Me and this car in first place have started to get a bit of a gap now to the rest of the field, just over 2.5, nearly 3 seconds now to the car in second place, which is a good thing. We're coming through the Schumacher S's once again. I have a much cleaner run this time. He gets a bit of dirt on the inside of the first left handle. It's not going to slow him down too much. And we're going to stay as tight as we can now as we come through the left and right hand rear to get onto the back straight. Now we get way too much curb there, big sideways action, somehow managed to save the car, and that has cost us a hell of a lot of time. And now third place is going to get right back up behind us, so that 3-second advantage gone, all the time spent behind first place absolutely wasted, and now we're going to have to catch up that 2.5 second gap to first place. And that's if we don't lose a position to the car in third, which doesn't look like we're going to, as we get a really good run off of the last corner once again. Very good traction in this Porsche. So can we catch first again? We'll see. So skipping ahead to the end of racing lap number 13. We've caught the gap up, and as you can see by the timing at the top, we are flying. We're trying to set some really fast, consistent laps, which we've done perfectly. And as we come into the last 20 minutes of the race, he's had a bit of a wobbly exit there off the last corner. We're going to go left, right, decide on the outside again as he parks it on the inside of the track. We're going to go side by side. This is the furthest forward I've been all race. As we go into the braking zone, he's just ahead again. He goes deep. We try for the cutback. Nearly get alongside, but we just cannot get the traction as we come off the hairpin, and then we have to inadvertently brake there so we don't smash into him as we go into that left-hander. So frustrating. We're making tiny little mistakes all over the track, and we just cannot get past this guy. His defensive driving is absolutely impeccable. So as we leave the stadium section, we must go again. Skipping ahead another lap now, this time to the end of lap number 15. So again, we're going to go round the hairpin to get onto the start-finish straight. Sit in the slipstream, come down to the hairpin. Going to give him a cheeky fake into the inside, which does cause him to go defensive, so we're going to try and use that to our advantage now. And take the optimum line through the first corner, but all we've gone and done there is turning a little bit too early, ride the curb in the hairpin, and lost any time that we might have gained, forcing him to take the defensive line with our fake attacking move. So we just need to get our driving in order here, because this guy's very good and we have a very similar pace, which is making this quite frustrating indeed. Now we're skipping ahead once again, this time to the end of lap 17. And now as we go under the 10-minute mark, me in first place, we're just simply going to find another gear. We both want this win. Setting a lap time there that's actually faster than my qualifying time. We're setting a 1:57.9. We fly down to the hairpin, yellow flag warnings, what's gone on here? We've got a back marker, luckily not on the apex. So that could have been a disaster for one of us. It's not going to hinder us though. We're just going to try and attack now. Only 10 minutes left. We'll see what we can do, I guess, against this German at his home Grand Prix. It's going to be difficult. As we go across the start-finish straight once again to finish lap number 19. Now we have just about 5 minutes left of this race to hopefully do something. We're going to go for the fake attacking move again, but he's not taking the bait. And the braking marker that we've both been using for the first turn has been wiped out there, and it's caused him to go very, very, very deep. He somehow manages to hold it there. As we come through this left-hander, we have to be very careful not to rear-end him, but we are bumper to bumper through the stadium section. He goes defensive once again through the left, which is probably a smart idea. So if he were leaving me any sort of a gap there, I would have gone for it. And we just probably get a little bit too much curve on that right-hander there as we leave the stadium section. Well, we've now got four and a half minutes roughly. We need to stay on this guy's bumper now. We really need to put the pressure on him and force him to make a mistake. Because a mistake's looking like the best option of going past him. He dips 2 wheels there onto the grass. I don't know what this guy's doing. He's a bit sideways. We're going to go quite deep in here. Try it around the outside. Obviously not going to work. So we get the switchback there for the better exit. But he manages to hold the traction anyway, so we come through the Schumacher S's. He's been consistently faster all race through the S's than I have. But we do manage to keep pace with him this time. We come up into the braking zone here. We're still right behind him, 0.2 seconds the gap. There's just absolutely nothing to separate us. And as testament to how fast we've been going, we've now got nearly a 10-second gap to the car in third, who earlier in the race was looking quite feisty and like he was going to overtake me. So we've managed to open that up to 10 seconds while staying bumper to bumper with each other. Now we come through the very fast endurance chicane, so on lap number 20, come around the hairpin. Now, to make things a little bit more interesting, we now have traffic to contend with in front of us, so we're going to see how that's going to affect us as these last 3 minutes play out. So we're going to come into this first corner once again. He once again goes slightly deep, missing his braking zone because the braking marker's gone. Does a lot better than he did the last lap, however. So once again getting right up his bumper as we take slightly different lines through that left-hander. It just hinders me exit a little bit, which is so frustrating. We're just gonna try and stay with him the best we can and pray that these back markers are going to cause a little bit of chaos. Comes through this left-hander here. The back marker's gone skating off into the gravel trap, which is never a good sign. As we come through this right-hander here, I am gritting my teeth and bracing. I see the headlights. Luckily, he didn't come careering back onto the track, which is fully what I expected. I'd have been so angry if he'd have took either of us out there. luckily that doesn't happen. He goes very deep again into this hairpin turn there. I don't know if it's just the line he prefers, but he seems to manage to hold it quite well going around the outside. Once again coming through the Schumacher S's, got a very good run out of there. Nearly too much of that curb on the right hand, but you don't want to do that. And down the back straight now towards the endurance chicane for the 21st time this race. And this does mean that this is going to be the last lap that we start in a second. He goes very, very wide on exit there. So do I. I just kind of follow him onto the grass, which is unfortunate. And now we come across the line to start the last lap of this race. This has to be it. I'm going to have to find pace from somewhere. I'm going to flash my lights at him to try and put him off, but I don't think that's going to do anything. Heavy on the brakes into T1. He takes his quite wide line again compared to my tighter route. Same through this left-hander, taking our different line, seeing what we can do. It's a much better exit than me there, and then as we come into this left-hander again, just going to try my best just to not lose too much time. Moving this right-hander a bit wide there, a bit late on the throttle. That's going to lose us a bit of time, and he's getting away now. We're going to have to really up our pace through these last few corners. We've got a back marker coming up here, so we'll see what this is going to do to the leader. And so here the back marker ends up just moving out the way to let us go through, which is the correct thing to do. We've come up to this haircut, the gap is now growing. I'm just going to have to start throwing this car into these corners if I'm going to get close to this guy. So come through this hairpin now, stamp on the throttle. We've got a yellow flag ahead, hopefully it won't affect us, but we're going to throw it into this left-hander. That's not what we want to be doing. So after all that effort, we're now under attack from third position after bottling it through the Schumacher S's there. So we have to go defensive into this left-hander, which we absolutely do awful through that corner. We'll through this right-hander, we park it on the apex so he can't get a gap on us, but we're going to fly now up the back straight to the endurance chicane. The Aston, however, is very quick in a straight line. So he's going to come up through here. I should go defensive here, but I ought not to because it's quite a singular line. He's going to come up the inside. He's going to block my route. I'm going to have to go up and across the gravel. He's also messed up the chicane, realising that he's effectively just cut me off and pushed me wide there. We come through the last hairpin. We somehow managed to hold it. An absolutely ridiculous final lap of this race. And it does mean that in the end we do get P2, well qualified. It was a very, very good race, very well driven from the guy in first place. Just excellent performance from him, parking his car exactly where it needs to go to just stop me from being able to get past him. Very frustrating, but he did deserve the win in the end. He did deserve the win. I made a couple of big mistakes, saved the car earlier, which could have definitely ended the race. But yeah, P2, very well done. So thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you're interested in more, and I'll see you again next time.